Hello, Mama. Welcome to Reaching Abundance. I'm Virginia Elder, your host, fellow money-minded mama, financial coach, and believer that a life of abundance is yours for the taking. I also believe that being a mother puts us in the position to wield amazing power, and it's up to us to really step into the role of household CEO and change our family's trajectory for good. There are so many facets of life that work in tandem to create the abundant life we imagine for ourselves and our family. And somehow, in some way, every single one of them affects or is affected by our money. You see, money is a neutral thing, this tool that we use that isn't good or bad in itself, but it's up to us to manage it well, make the best decisions we can with it, and use it wisely to create the life we dream of. I know you've heard the phrase, health is wealth. You can take this to mean that when you maintain your health, you'll have to spend less of your wealth on medical bills, prescriptions, and treatments, thus allowing you to keep your money, donate it, or invest it, or buy things you actually want. On that same note, if you are healthy and generally need less medical care, you will need less money during the later years of life because you won't be trying to budget thousands each year toward medical needs. And every penny can be invested or, again, used to buy things or experiences you actually want for yourself and your family. But money comes into play on the front end of the health is wealth conversation too, because the money we spend toward our health up front pays dividends out into the future. Purposefully buying foods high in nutrition that are less processed, or better yet, whole and organic, effectively reduces the amount of chemicals and pesticides we consume. Intentionally seeking out high-quality, ultra-absorbable vitamins boost our immune systems and fill the nutritional gap between what we need versus what we consume in our food. On the same note, the chemicals you're exposed to daily matter. You've heard that the household cleaners and soaps we use have chemicals in them. And maybe you've switched to organic deodorant, and then maybe you're like, I'll get to the rest of that later. I get it. There's only so much we can handle at once. And once you dive down this rabbit hole of finding out about all the products that are actually dangerous, but also very commonly marketed and used, and I do mean they're probably in all of our homes and our friends' homes, well, it can be pretty overwhelming. Which is why we're here today. I want to empower you with the research I've been doing so you can confidently provide a home environment for your family that's as safe and healthy as possible in every way possible. In this episode, you're going to learn how you can easily reduce the number of chemicals that enter your home, how to make the switch to non-toxic household cleaners without breaking the budget, why you would want to take on this gung-ho organic project in the first place, and how you can confidently choose healthy household products without spending hours doing research. In my home, we've been on a mission to reduce allergens. So, over time, we've gotten rid of the carpet, we've repainted with low VOC paint, and I've been on a slow-paced mission over the past couple of years to convert the products we use and allow in our home over from the quote-unquote regular brands toward products and brands that have less chemicals, are safer for my kids, and that I can actually feel good using. Once I became aware of the plethora of unhealthy, even carcinogenic chemicals in our homes, in our cleaning products, and hidden in the personal products we use daily, I couldn't stop thinking about it. I knew I had to do what's best for the health of my family, embark on a mission to switch over our cleaning products. But I also knew I wasn't willing to just toss the products I already had, because that feels wasteful to me. Or bust the budget buying a bunch of frou-frou organic products. So now you're thinking, how do you know if the products you're already using are that bad? And how do you switch the entire household over to chemical-free products without breaking the budget? Or how do you know what to buy or which labels to trust? Well, in this episode, I'm going to help you out with all that. At this point, I hope you know me well enough to know everything I do must be budget conscious, well-planned, and have some research behind it to convince me to do it in the first place. So today, you're invited to hang out and learn why you would want to switch to more natural products in the first place, what chemicals and false claims on labels to watch out for, about a couple really helpful apps that make this whole thing so much easier, and my method you're totally going to want to steal so you too can slowly switch the whole household to organic products without breaking the budget. And as you listen today, remember, abundance is possible for all of us, even though it looks different for each of us. And that is a beautiful thing.
Welcome to the Reaching Abundance podcast, where your host, Virginia Elder, shares helpful guidance for moms around positive mindset, creating simplicity, practicing true self-care, and most of all, money management. Her financial journey toward a better life blossomed into an insatiable desire for overall happiness and abundance. Hang out with her right here each week while she ditches the taboos around women and money, shares resources, educates, and financially empowers all the mamas.
Hey mama, ready to dive in? Today, we're talking about how we can provide the healthiest, non-toxic home environment for our family. This will cut down on allergies, asthma, respiratory issues, reduce you and your family's exposure to irritants to your eyes, nose, and skin, and even help reduce the likelihood of developmental and reproductive issues in all family members. As I mentioned, I've been on a slow-paced mission to change over every product in our house, from the quote-unquote regular products made by typical store brands you probably see every day, like Suave, Dove, Tide, Lysol, and Cascade, that do have chemicals in them, over to non-toxic, natural, safe, and even organic products that are completely healthy. Why would I knowingly spray a cleaner in my kitchen that's toxic for my kids to breathe? Why would I knowingly smudge products on my face or body that are filled with chemicals? You wouldn't, right? The thing is, for a long time, I didn't know. Then, for a little while, I knew but didn't have the mental space to address it. I just knew it meant I'd have to pour hours into research and money from the budget, but something was still nagging at me. I knew this was important, but I also knew I had to approach this strategically. First things first, why would I want to switch everything over anyways? That's the old, if it ain't broke, don't fix it mentality. If products are working just fine and doing their job, why worry about it? Why not keep just trucking along using them if we aren't experiencing any negative effects or irritations right now? Like, if you had an immediate allergic reaction to some fumes from a cleaner, you'd definitely switch. But if you're using one that's, sure, probably laced with chemicals, but it doesn't seem to bother you, is that really so bad? The answer is yes. The average home has 62, that's a 6-2, toxic chemicals in it. And besides the chemicals that are already in the wood, carpet, fabrics, the foam inside your furniture, and the paint on your walls, you can and should control the chemicals you allow to enter your home in the form of cleaners, disinfectants, air fresheners, and products. If you're in the process of remodeling or having your house built, sure, you can choose wood floors that emit less formaldehyde, and you can select paint that's non-toxic. But if you're already in your home, and this is the case for most of us, we've got to shift our focus to the products we use daily to clean, disinfect, scent, and launder. In fact, most products, and shocker here, even the ones that are marked as clean or free and clear, contain mystery fragrances, dyes, preservatives, formaldehyde, and even carcinogens. I understand this might be hard to hear and you might be thinking, I've gone crazy. But ask yourself, have you been blindly believing the commercials and labels? Or have you done some research? You've heard of trust but verify, right? Well, that's what I've started doing, and I too have been absolutely appalled and shocked at the baloney we've been led to believe by the big companies. We'll get to that in a little bit. I'll actually share with you how easy it is to look this stuff up, so you'll go from overwhelmed and freaked out to like, oh, that's all I gotta do? I can do that. So circle back with me to why you would want to switch to non-toxic household products in the first place. Aside from the typical dangers of having chemicals under the sink and in the home, like poisonings and chemical burns, studies show that long-term continuous exposure to many of these chemicals are what may cause cancer, asthma, reproductive issues, and other inflammatory responses in our tissues everywhere inside our bodies. I sure as heck don't want any of that for my kids, and I know you don't either. And you, Mama, are the gatekeeper to all of those horrible ailments. So consider this. If there are already chemicals in your homes and your furnishings that you can't really control, I mean, like the kids are gonna go to school and wherever out in the world, and there's a certain level of exposure. But you wouldn't want to add to the amount or variety of chemicals they're exposed to. For this reason, I began my slow-paced journey to one by one flip each product in my household to eco-friendly options without chemicals. That goes for the dang Windex, body washes, toilet bowl cleaner, I mean everything. So this brings us to the part where you might be feeling overwhelmed. Where do you start? Which products do you start with? How do you know if something's good or bad? How do you decode those confusing ingredients on the labels? And my favorite, because this one's really tough, how do I know that the organic alternative is going to work as well? Let's take a step back for a second. Before you go gathering armfuls of cleaners from under the sink and freaking out, it's important to logically think about what you use daily or weekly and begin there. Think about the products that you or your family members come in direct contact with, like laundry detergent. It's on all the clothes that get washed, and then everybody in the family puts on those clothes, and our skin absorbs a tiny bit of chemicals from each outfit. Think about whatever you use to wipe off the table after each meal, and the dishwashing liquid or dishwasher pods. Those chemicals are on the dishes you eat off of and the table you eat at. Not to mention the mystery lemon scent or whatever fills the air with each after-dinner wipe down and load of dishes you run. Hey, Mama! You're doing your best to feed your little fam bam healthy foods, be more present, reduce the chemicals in your home, watch the budget, and create the overall healthy, wealthy life you and your littles deserve. Which is why I'm super jazzed to introduce you to a produce wash called Eat Cleaner. When you buy fresh produce, even the organic items, there are pesticide residues, wax, and germs on those products. So if you're like me, you've probably been washing and rinsing your produce. But maybe you've noticed there's still usually a film or residue you just can't seem to wash away. Plus, fresh produce goes bad quickly. It's all too common for us to intend to eat healthy, buy a bunch of fresh fruits and veggies, then end up tossing some of them in the trash by the end of the week because they went bad before we could eat them. Ugh, what a waste of money. Well, Eat Cleaner All-Natural Fruit and Vegetable Wash cleans all that gunk off your fruits and veggies safely with no chemicals, while also extending how long that produce stays fresh and edible. In fact, using Eat Cleaner All-Natural Fruit and Vegetable Wash can save you about $500 per year in reduced food waste and help toward your goal of eating all the healthy produce you buy. So, click the banner in the show notes at reachingabundance.com and buy your own Eat Cleaner All-Natural Fruit and Vegetable Wash today. Because trust me, you're going to love having cleaner, longer-lasting produce, being able to actually eat all the produce you buy before it goes bad, and in turn, wasting less food and money. So start there. Those daily use, daily exposure items are where we begin. If you feel like taking on the world, the other more personal products that I also switched as soon as possible are lotions, deodorant, body and face washes for myself and the family. But that gets into the personal side of products, which I will give a few tips about in this episode, but it's really a whole separate can of worms we can open another time. So again, before you go cleaning out cabinets or anything, hang with me and get all the information before taking action. Okay? Okay. If you generally feel like you've tried to be conscious of the chemical content in your household cleaning products because you've been reading labels and buying the free and clear or the green products off the shelf in the cleaning aisle, I hate to tell you this, but it's likely you've been duped. There's something called greenwashing. That's when the crafty marketers at these big companies come up with words and clever phrases to put on the bottles so that you feel good about buying their product. But really, those labels are misleading or irrelevant. An example of this, and I want you to look for this the next time you go shopping, kind of demystify the labels the next time you're out. This is where they put biodegradable on the label. Well, in enough time, most things are biodegradable. It might take hundreds of years, but it will decompose eventually. This is very different from a label that says biodegradable within 3 days. Another crafty marketer label lie is when it says straight out green or natural. Those claims mean nothing, and they don't have to quantify or qualify to anyone to be allowed to claim that. It can literally be the same formula and contain the same toxic ingredients as the original, and they just changed the packaging and added these fancy trigger words to help you feel better as you're buying it. I don't know about you, but this makes me mad. This should not be legal. We're being scammed on the daily and spending money so our families can be poisoned. Horrible, right? Okay, so there's one last concern I want to address here. You might be thinking something like, yeah, but I don't like the unscented stuff. I like the smell because I know it's clean. This may sound silly to some, but it's a legit objection. I've heard it before. We've been so programmed to believe that when we smell certain scents from detergents and cleaners, that's what clean smells like. So, I want to just let you know that going organic doesn't necessarily mean that you're buying unscented everything. There are some fantastic, fresh, natural, organic scents like lavender, lemon, vanilla, citrus, and more. your home can still smell clean without there being chemicals in use. I promise. On that note, some of the absolutely most toxic and most common chemicals are in air freshener products. Think about the Glade bathroom spray, the scented candles, the plug-ins, and especially those solid air fresheners, the ones where you twist them open and the gel slowly dries out. Yeah, those are all emitting chemically created scents and or are using a chemical-based product to get the scent out into the air. The only safe air freshener I can recommend after doing all this research is to use essential oils in a diffuser. And I do mean legit, pure essential oils. There are some great MLMs out there that sell them. Just don't buy products that claim to be essential oils on the shelf of a big box retailer, because I can almost guarantee that when you look at the ingredients, there's a bunch of weird, unpronounceable stuff on there. Yeah, that's not safe for your lungs. So go with pure essential oils and diffusers. I'm all for candles. I love fire, but it's really, really hard to find a healthy candle company. They are out there, and I'm still trying to find my go-to, but you really got to do the research. Meanwhile, do not buy another Glade plug-in refill or bathroom spray. And here's where it will all really probably start to be tangible and real to you. I mentioned at the beginning that I did a bunch of research. This is one of my favorite things to do and something I'm really great at, one of my strengths, if you will. And there are 2 apps I want to tell you about and that I want you to download and start using right away. One is called EWG's Healthy Living. And I've included a screenshot of it in the show notes so you know you're downloading the correct app. EWG has a website as well, ewg.org. If you're a laptop user like me, you should totally check out the site, but download the app too because it will be useful when you're out shopping. You need to know EWG is a company that reviews and rates household products by their ingredients, asthma and respiratory concern, skin allergy concern, developmental and reproductive toxicity, cancer concerns, and environmental concern. Every product, especially the big boys like Tide, Cascade, Glade, Lysol, and other familiar names, are given a rating, A through F, and the super clean products are considered verified. EWG is committed to helping us decode labels, understand ingredients and the risk they pose to us. And my favorite part is that when you scan a cleaner's barcode using the app, or when you type in, for example, Lysol all-purpose cleaner on the website, in addition to the rating for that product and the ingredients and all the risks, there's a little link that says, search for a better alternative. This little magic link is what you and I can use to find products that are healthier, filled with less or no chemicals at all, and shop for products that can replace these old toxic ones we've been conditioned to buy. EWG has a ton of information, okay? Remember, start simple with just a few items you use or are exposed to daily. As you slowly get ready to tackle more, you can dig deeper because this site has info on safer diapers for babies, and I even saw a headline about weed killer chemicals found in hummus, and I wanted to click on it so bad, but I didn't. I stayed on track. For me, what I needed to shop for today was laundry detergent, dishwasher pods, and all-purpose cleaner. Here's where I have to admit something. We've had organic laundry detergent, dishwasher pods, and all-purpose cleaner in the past, but I got worn down and defaulted thinking, I'll just grab the regular one off the shelf this time. We all experience those days where we feel like we don't have time or don't want to deal with it and would rather take the easy way out. This was a classic fail on my part because Lo and behold, the Tide laundry detergent is so highly scented that I can barely sleep in my sheets. Meanwhile, my husband is dealing with a skin rash. And the all-purpose cleaner, much like the Tide, is so strong I can barely use it. It's terrible. So this is what happens, at least in my case, when in a weak moment I took the easiest option and bought some quote-unquote normal household cleaning products. And I just want to say here that even if you aren't experiencing a firsthand reaction to these scents and chemicals, it doesn't mean you aren't being affected. Since I prefer to order things on Amazon these days, because who wants to leave the house anyway, I did my comparison shopping right here on my computer. I pulled up the EWG website in one window and the Amazon website in the other window. I typed in the products I have that I now want to replace, again, with organic or safer ones, and proceeded to be horrified at what I'd been using. All Tide products have D ratings or worse. And the shocking result, all of the Tide Free and Gentle or Tide Pure Essentials have F ratings. An F! How scammy! Again, we're tricked with clever marketing lingo that means nothing, but convinces us that buying something that says Pure Essentials is safe when it's really chock full of chemicals, bad enough to receive an F rating. Cascade dishwashing pods are the same way. D's across the board. May as well be an F to me. So with each of my regular brand household products I want to replace, I just type it in the search bar at ewg.org and find out the rating. I'd venture to say that if you find your household products are a C or better, you're doing great. I'm shooting to buy things with an A rating wherever I can from now on. Once I see the ingredients and what's causing them to rate the product as unhealthy, I click that little link I was telling you about that says search for a better alternative. Then I'm shown a little chart where 2 products are verified, which is EWG's way of saying they're the absolute safest products you can buy. And then there are 64 products with an A rating, 54 with a B rating, and on down the scale. I clicked on the A rating to see those products so I can price shop them on Amazon. Sure, there's a whole list of great products, but I need to make sure they're convenient and budget friendly too. I soon was comparing products all with an A rating by companies like Ecos, 7th Generation, BioClean, Grab Green, Puracy, and Whole Foods. This was the same story with each of my searches, so I could quickly hone in on that these companies actually make safe, chemical-free, healthy products, that it's not just marketing BS, that they all are what they say they are. With this knowledge, the comparison shopping begins. It's easy to think organic products are so much more expensive because I too noticed that they seem to come in smaller quantities. But it's important you're comparing apples to apples. Instead of looking at price per ounce of laundry liquid, for example, you want to be looking at the number of loads of laundry those ounces provide. Whip out your calculator and really see what the cost per load is. Another thing I've noticed, make sure once you make a purchase and are using the product at home, use the correct amount of detergent. While Tide requires a big cupful of detergent per load, Puracy requires a tiny capful that's got to be equivalent to like a tablespoon or something. This explains why that jug of Tide is huge, and for a comparable price, you would buy a 16-ounce bottle of an organic brand. So make sure you're comparison shopping based on the price per laundry load, and then triple check you're only using that little serving amount according to the directions on the back, so you get all the loads promised to you. I wound up buying BioClean laundry detergent that promises 300 loads of laundry for about $23. I'm pretty happy with that. Dishwasher pods were a little easier to shop because you get 1 pod per dishwasher load. So I easily found a healthy alternative brand called Grab Green with an A rating over the D-rated Cascade I've been using. This particular Grab Green 60 count of dishwasher pods was only $17. I'm really happy with my comparison method here and will continue to cycle through the household cleaners as we run out and check the ratings on ewg.org to either confirm that what I've been using is well rated, or I'll go through the process of being horrified at these terrible ratings and promptly find a healthier alternative on Amazon. This is an easier approach than standing in the cleaner aisle for what could be hours trying to decipher labels on your own. Online, you can comparison shop quickly and easily using Amazon or even the manufacturer's websites. Plus, sometimes the organic products they do have on the shelf at the store are limited. Maybe there are only 1 or 2 organic brands to choose from, or maybe they're hard to find. I do still strongly suggest that you download and use the app, though. If you're ever stuck in the grocery aisle needing to make a quick yet healthy purchase, you have EWG's Healthy Living app to help. An additional way you can use it is to just scan your products at home and do some quick research right there, standing in your kitchen, without having to sit down at the computer. The app and the website are full of information, and I'll just warn you one more time that you can really get sucked into this rabbit hole, okay? Approach with boundaries in place. As you get further along in this healthy household cleaner switcheroo, your search for safe, natural products will generally expand toward the personal use products like sunscreen, makeup, body wash, deodorant, and more. Because think about it, we put those things directly on our bodies and our skin absorbs those ingredients. So, like I mentioned before, this is an entirely separate can of worms, but since I need new hand wash refill soap, I couldn't just stop at the main ewg.org site. I discovered there's an additional portion of the site, ewg.org/skindeep. Just for personal and body products. There's also an app called Think Dirty that I highly suggest you check out. Both of these options will help you in the same way I just described for household cleaners, but for your personal products. And this is how I found a safer alternative with which to refill my hand soap pumps. And again, I'm going with the same method here. As a product runs out here or there, I'll shop for a budget-friendly, non-toxic alternative. This way, I'm not really having to allocate additional budget money toward a massive overhaul of our products. I estimate that with some diligence, most of our household and personal products can be successfully swapped for healthy alternatives in just 2 months. I'm sharing all this with you because oftentimes we kind of know about something, or we think we should be doing something better in some way. Eating healthier, exercising more, paying better attention to our spending habits, or buying organic products. But it's hard to figure out where to start. And sometimes it's hard to even concoct a strategy or a method towards a goal. Well, I love strategizing toward goals and breaking things down into bite-sized portions that are actually attainable for my own purposes and for you. My family's health, reduced allergies, minimal chemical exposure, decreased ingestion and absorption of irritants and fumes is important to me, and I know it's important to you. Before you go, I want to thank you for listening to Reaching Abundance. This podcast exists to help mamas live happier, healthier, and more abundantly in every way possible. Maybe you noticed this episode is about how to swap your household cleaners to healthy alternatives in a budget-friendly way, and you're thinking, interesting. How does that go with financial coaching? Well, because I believe in approaching everything from a holistic perspective and consider all facets of creating confidence, health, fulfillment, and abundance. So whatever goals you want to achieve, I'm here for it. I'd love to keep in touch, hear from you, and connect with you. So please make sure you're subscribed to the show in your podcast app and following me on Instagram at Happy Healthy Abundance or Reaching Abundance for more tips, hints, and habits to help you along your journey. Because regardless of what your challenges look like, and no matter the stigma around them or why or how you got here, you can overcome them. Simplicity and peace are in your future. I know it. Maybe it'll take 3 years of intention and focus. Maybe you'll fall off and get back on 1,000,000 times over those 3 years. Who cares though? It's all about your progress and your goals or your life you'll have in the end. There was definitely a period where I believed my mistakes were shameful, and I did everything I could to hide our situation while I handled it privately. Now, I see how this journey put me perfectly on my path, realigned me with my values, shaped who I am, and created my passion for helping moms with their finances. Now, it's up to you to use me as a resource. Your journey toward debt freedom, a well-functioning budget, financial freedom, and a happy family life because you've alleviated the financial stress can be here faster and easier. I really, truly believe you can have it all through intention, consistency, and being present in the moment. You don't have to figure it out on your own, feel lost, or deprive yourself along the way. You're invited to book a free 15-minute consult with me where we can see what helpful action steps and mindset adjustments will get you on the right track with your money. Again, thank you for being here with me today. This week, edge a little closer to reaching abundance by simply noticing which products you use daily. Are they safe? Download the apps I mentioned and scan a couple of them. Then decide how and when you're going to make the swap toward a non-toxic, chemical-free alternative. Don't forget to check out the show notes at reachingabundance.com, where you'll find the links to download the free apps I mentioned, a few Amazon links to the products I'm switching to, and of course, the summary of everything we talked about. Have a wonderful week, Mama. I look forward to talking with you again next time.